Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch, welcome back to the Bodybuilding News Network. We have a breakdown of a comparison from this year's pre-judging Men's Open Bodybuilding 2024, Derek Lunsford versus him last year, pre-judging 2023 Mr. Olympia. So if you're interested in that kind of comparison, make sure you stay tuned. And of course, as we make sure everything's straight, shout out to the title sponsor, Dragon Pharma. Now let's go ahead and open up the, sorry, my autism kicking in. Let's go ahead and jump into the side-by-side comparisons I put together for you. And this is going to start off with the front double bicep, as any comparison should. Start off with the front double. Now, the big critiques from last year's Derek Lunsford, especially in the front double, is going to be the squishy midsection and the squishy pecs, the soft chest. Mark's Max Muscle says if he can poke the chest and it clicks, that means that it's too soft. So I'm going to go with that kind of comparison. We're going to look at the arms, chest, lats, midsection, and the legs, of course. So let's start off with the arms. Comparable, I would say. Very comparable. I'd say maybe they're a little bit bigger this year, but you know you're battling centimeters at that point. Chest still looks very squishy. The lats look very similar, although last year he had those lymph nodes swollen in the armpits, and you can see that a lot more distended that year than this year. This year they look fine, huge, full. Nothing, no issues there, no problems. He's rocking that signature vacuum to shadow the weakness of the midsection. Got nothing wrong with that. Use the tools you can. That's how Arnold said it's a show of illusions, right? So everyone knows that he has a softer midsection. So rock the vacuum. This is an amazing shot. Not many people in the world can beat him, let alone compete with him. Derek, Hadi, Samson, maybe Andrew. That's about it. You know, I think they put Hunter in fourth currently. An abomination. What a crazy time we live in. Let's go ahead and move. Let's actually stay here for a second and look at the legs real quick. I would say the legs are a little sharper and a little bit more obvious. You can see it. The lighting is better. You can see the legs better. So I like that. So overall, I'd say he is improved from last year, but not in the areas that we want. We want tighter, better midsection and a more conditioned, harder chest. And we're not seeing that yet. Side chest, I guess I have the lat spread somewhere. Apologies. Still, I'm not a comparison channel, but I do want to put these together for you guys just so you have it. Chest still looks pretty squishy, but you can see a little bit more separation, a little bit more feathering in the pecs here from 2024 on the left compared to 2023 from last year. And you can see that the delts are a little bit bigger, and you can see a little bit more striations as the delt lines are coming down. So you can see a little bit more detail there. Arms as well. You can see the bicep peak a little bit better, a little bit more separation there. So overall, I'd say he is improved in the upper body, although maybe not every shot is showing it. The midsection, hard to judge here. You can't really see it distended at all, so not going to mark him down either years. And then in the leg department, he's known for that crazy glute and the quad from the side. Him and Akeem have amazing side shots from the leg. And I would say we're seeing more detail from Derek this year than we did last year. The hamstring drop looks very similar. We're losing a little bit of striations in the glutes because of either he's flexing the quad more or the lighting is hiding those striations. I'm going to go with the first and say that he's flexing the quads more in 2024 than he was in 2023, giving a better illusion of more detail in the quad compared to the glute. I don't think he needs any help in the glute. Overall, I think he's improved. Side tricep, that lat's going to come out eventually. From the side tricep, this is where the midsection really started getting knocked last year. I think he fixed it. He did a little bit more rotating this year, along with the tan, probably better conditioning. The midsection is not as distended, although it does look very squishy, and the chest looks very squishy. It still looks really good. Now, I wouldn't say this is better than Hadi, but it is good. Overall, improved. Here's the front lat. Probably Derek's least favorite shot. I hate to say worst because he is a Mr. Olympia champion, but the chest from last year just deflated. The midsection is tight, but just not a lot going on. Very Nick Walker-esque, very blocky. And you can see the clavicle width. He looks pretty narrow. I'm not sure why he looks so narrow compared to last year. This year he looks really good. Last year he looked pretty narrow in the shoulders. If you know what I'm saying, if you can see where my pen's going. Now, with 2024, chest looks a tad bit fuller. Arms look a little bit more detailed. The midsection, I would say, worse in this shot. Not a lot of detail towards the posing trunks. And he's pushing in on those obliques to keep the midsection nice and small. Doing a great job with the illusions that he can. And the legs are improved. More conditioning, more separation, and a tad bit bigger. So overall, I don't think anyone's going to be arguing that Derek was better last year than he is this year. And if they are, please send them this way. Last year, back double. Glutes are probably harder because he was probably more streamlined, smaller. This year he's bigger, maybe not as conditioned in the glute department, but bringing more size in the back. You can see in the biceps there's more detail. The delts, you can see there's more feathering. Outside of that, it's mostly just a lot of mass, not as much detail. The glutes are still crazy hard and detailed. The hamstrings are very similar. I'd say almost exactly the same. And the calves exactly the same. Overall, from the back, I'd say that his lats, his deltoids, his rhomboid area, upper traps, all that is a little bit thicker. And as well as the biceps I mentioned earlier. And the lateral deltoid heads are a little bit more detailed. So he did improve a little bit in the back as well. Back lat spread. I'll be honest, my eyes actually went to 2023 before this year. And I don't know why. Probably the extra detail on that left rhomboid, left lat area. It pops out a little bit more than this year. He's bigger and wider this year, but lost a little bit of detail in this shot specifically. The upper traps, he's hunched more, so the shot's a little different. And the lighting's hitting it a little bit differently, highlighting some other areas, but also overexposing and oversaturating some of the other areas and hiding it. A lot of skin folding in the lower back. So there is room for him to improve. He could be a little bit crisper. I'd give it a draw on the lat spread. And we got two left. The ab and thigh. Using the vacuum like we talked about earlier as a tool. Nothing wrong with that. Chest still squishy. You can even see a little bit of the gyno around the nipple area. So he might have to keep an eye on that. Make sure that's not an issue. Arms, everything's pretty flat here because we want to focus on the midsections and the quads. The abdominal and thigh. Abdominals look very tight. They look actually amazing right here. I can't say anything wrong about the abdominals in this shot. The quads look very detailed. A lot of meat on them. Overall, I probably prefer last year's, even though the lymph node armpit area was swollen. Good shot for him. And we're going to finish off with the good version of his most muscular. Derek, if you're listening, probably stay away from the crab. It makes the chest look even squishier, and people don't want to see that. It's not good. Also, he holds his hands in front of his midsection like Hunter does to hide it. It's very obvious, so he might want to take it easy on that. Judges might knock him down for him trying to just stand there and hide instead of posing. But with this most muscular, you can clearly see that he's bigger. He's more conditioned in the legs. A lot more separation. The biceps are more peaky. Delts are more full. And the chest is more striated and vascular. That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing for more content like this here on the Bodybuilding News Network. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for Dragon Pharma for sponsoring the show, and I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, at finals.